All right, should be up and running. That is the closing bell. All right, so we'll see where the market finished up percentage wise and take a look at today's plays. Let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for May 10th, 2022. Q's up 0.25%. SPY up 1.2, was gapping as much as 2% this morning, but was not able to hold those gains. So you can see we were gapping up initially, actually came in and lost the gap, which is pretty bearish, and now closing kind of in the middle. Q is a little bit stronger than the SPY here. SPY actually came in and broke yesterday's lows. We came into today bearish, and going into tomorrow, we are still going to remain the same. I don't really have anything too definitive here on the hourly. You can see we got that one green bar attempt to bounce, but that's not really much of a pivot given the move really came from one green bar here. So as I told the room finishing up the day here, for me to look towards potentially any change in the bias in the Qs and SPY here, I would have to see a daily sell setup. Okay, the hourly, even if we take out today's high, is hard to really anticipate bullishness because we're going to be running right into resistance. And really the big area here is this FOMC, that area that we left behind, right? That we moved up and gapped down from. So that's pretty far away. So, you know, we don't really have a good spot here, and that's a clear pivot on the daily. Now, we've had other sell setups, right? Just so you can know kind of what to look for here on the daily. We've had other sell setups. Here was a pretty decent one on the Qs, right? Started a downtrend, broke below the 20 MA, moved up into a pivot, and then came back down. Okay, and that's the triggering of that sell setup, and that's what we're looking for. Here's another one. Yep. And so what we would be looking for is short-term rally into this declining 20. Okay, and that's what we would be looking for before we can say, okay, if we fail on that sell setup, then I'd be bullish, right? So for me, what's on the chart here, there's nothing really to work with to say, okay, if we do this, if we do that, I would no longer be bearish because the chart is just not, it's a little bit sloppy. I think that is a part of it, but also just we have time frame alignment across the board. Weekly still in a downtrend, monthly broke, daily, right? It's obviously in a downtrend. Okay, so that's what we'll be looking for. We'll be looking for it in the days to come. Still early here. Maybe the market puts in a pivot here, but so far, you know, there's nothing really to work off of here to start looking for bullish opportunities quite yet, or even anticipating the bullish bias. Okay. Now, coming into today, I said, you know, we're probably going to get a lot more scalps. That's what we got. That's really what we got. Now, the DM, to be fair, you could have played just as a chart trade. Actually, I had to try this twice. Got triggered in initially on this bar right here. This bar, you see this green bar? Triggered me in and then kicked me right back out. Then I had to get back in on this DM. But I did not hold it till the end of the day. Kind of had a nice follow through there. And I thought, you know, maybe that's the bottom. Man, if I had held all day, there was that trail there. I'll show you here. 1 minute bar by bar, right? Trailed at 222. Where did we end up? 133. So, yeah, definitely could have managed this better on the DM. Look at that hourly bar by bar. Never takes it out. That's 195. That's 195. Never takes out 196. Hourly bar by bar would have been really, really nice. Here's the gap on this. But I was kind of treating it more as a scalp today on the DM, and ended up being a pretty good play just as a chart trade. Body, which also was a gap down, had some nice scalps. Started to flip a little bit towards the end. But was pretty decent. I remember getting it as it was breaking here and held up okay. I think I got out actually early. This started to base a bit. I thought I was going to flip. I had to get back in it, but didn't make that much on the replay. So there you go. So you can see, you know, penny by penny, holding up pretty well. And nice tight base. You're only risking a penny essentially. So really, and as soon as this, you know, gets going, basically the play is kind of a locked-in winner as long as we don't run into kind of any sloppiness or any shenanigans. But once you see the base, you know, that's a sign that it started to clean up a bit. So that was the BODY, so that was good. And then the SKLZ might have played with me also. The SKLZ, let me see on the SKLZ, where did this play start? This was a gap failure, I believe, like the market, and that was really with the start of the play. Let me double check. Skillz started at 165 and kept adding to it. Okay. Okay. Actually started this one later on. Okay, yeah. After it came back to the base, and here you go. Here's the nice base. So you can see once we get something like that, that's where we kind of, it starts to stand out. Okay, and then kind of added to this on the way down. And you can see it held up pretty well, right? You're not getting a lot of pushback or sloppiness. Yeah, so the SKLZ was nice as well. And then finally trailed out there. Yeah, I remember this trailing out. I think I got kicked out at, let's see, 595. Yeah, and that's fine. Yep. So that was a good scalp as well on the SKLZ. So, yeah, we had some nice scalps here. Probably the worst out of the scalps was this NCMI. I like this one a lot because you can see here, you know, there's really nothing below. It is down quite a bit, but I was kind of liking the relative weakness here. So this is the only one that got me, and you can kind of see some of the sloppiness here. So it was looking good. I got it and then added some, and then ran into a little bit of sloppiness there. But I think I got out okay on the trail there, just over that, but just, you know, didn't get as much follow through. So, you know, it's not that they're all going to work, but, you know, there's plenty to look at and plenty to go after. And you're going to have, you know, varying degrees. I mean, DM, of course, that was the, you know, as good as it gets. Just as far as follow through, momentum, just really, really good. And then you get stuff in between, you know, body kind of had to, you know, get in and out of. Skillz was fine. And then some are going to get a little bit flippy. Typically when you run into the ones that flip, you kind of just want to, after that, stay away from them or let them put in a better base. Okay, so you can see a lot of these, you know, once they got a decent tight base, that's really where, you know, we're trying to go after them. So body as well. Yeah, once it gets the nice tight base. Okay, and even up here it was okay. I don't think I was able to catch it that early on, but was okay nonetheless on the body. Okay. All right, so we're getting a lot of that. I think the challenge right now, which I think it'll get better, is what to focus on. We have a lot of earnings gaps right now, and things are going to start to wind down a little bit. But, you know, with the scalps and having to watch them and with all the gaps that we got to go through, you know, it's a little bit chaotic. A lot different than it was like a month or two ago when, you know, it was kind of just play the best and then kind of only and not settle. Now there's kind of things setting up everywhere and a lot of stuff to go after. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. All right, hopefully you had a nice day. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Have a good evening.